Morning. Just first want to thank everybody for uh, coming out to Media Day. Um, Before I take any questions, just have a couple things I just want to say, and then I'll be happy to answer anything that you do want to ask. First, I want to make sure that we recognize our ownership, obviously our ownership group, led by Clay Bennett, and there's several other people involved that are tremendous individuals and citizens of Oklahoma City as well. The last summer like this or opportunities like this really are, only ideas and opportunities unless, we're given the opportunity and the support to execute on those. And, I can't say enough about the group as a whole and what a pleasure it is to work with them. And the other thing I think I just want to add about them is it's a great group of people, but they're also incredibly humble people, our ownership group. And for that group of guys to be from Oklahoma City, to get along the way that they do, to support us as they do, there's just no egos in the group. And I think it's one of the reasons why I think it's a huge reason for the ability for us to sustain the level of performance that we've had since 2008, going into this is our 10th anniversary. The other thing I just want to add about that group of guys that we've all had the pleasure of working for is they're incredibly passionate as an ownership group about basketball in Oklahoma City. They're incredibly passionate about the Thunder. And they're incredibly passionate about Oklahoma City as a city, as a place, as a home, as a thriving community. But at the same time, they balance that with a tremendous amount of respect for our players. They respect their craftsmanship. They respect their space. They care about them as individuals. They care about their families. And they create a great environment for our players to work because they know that they have the things they need to be successful, but they also don't have a lot of distractions. And I think that takes a lot of humility for an ownership group to operate that way. With moving on obviously to the trade with respect to Carmelo, an incredible opportunity for us and a rare one to add a player like this. I think the best word to describe him is dynamic. I think offensively there's some things about him that are different and that I think could be really special with our group in particular. One, his ability to stretch the floor as a catch and shoot three-point shooter, regardless of corner or non-corner threes. He's over 40% in both of those areas over a period of time. He also shoots an extraordinarily high percentage on uncontested ones, which hopefully with the group that we have, he'll be the beneficiary of some open opportunities or more open opportunities than he's had. I also think Billy, with respect to a player like Carmelo, will be exceptional in terms of putting him in positions to experience new things, to move him around. And Billy is really excited about this opportunity because he really feels like Carmelo is somebody that is a really underrated passer. And also a guy that gets to the free throw line at a really high rate. But also, as I said before, is a guy that's an exceptional catch and shoot three-point shooter and just gives us another opportunity, another player that we can play in different spots. And I think that's one of Billy's greatest strengths is just, utilizing the flexibility of the team and thinking creatively. So we're really excited about that. The other thing I just want to add about him and that I've admired for a very long time is just his professionalism and the way he carries himself, and everyone in Oklahoma City will have an opportunity to meet him and get to know him. But from afar, he is he's a rather dignified guy in my opinion. The way he conducts his business, the relationships he has around the NBA, and the respect that he garners from many different people, from owners to referees to executives and obviously players as well. He's had we all know it's been a challenging situation for him, and those types of things happen. but I thought he handled it the best way he could, and that was another reason why, in speaking to a lot of people that know him and know him well, we really felt like he would not only be a really good fit for our team, but I think, he carries himself with a professionalism and a class that, as a Thunder going to our 10th year, we want that to continue to be a hallmark of our organization. So with that, I'd open it up to any questions.
Sam, you talked about on Friday how it was a risk not to take a chance to get Paul George. Do you feel that it was the same way with Carmelo?
That's a great question, Mike. I didn't think about it in those terms. With Paul George, I did. I think in this case, I think it was mostly opportunity. Obviously it doesn't come around very often that the 10-time All-Star is available, and then it's unique in the sense that he had the clause in his contract where he could choose the place to go. So I think opportunistically, the ability to make the trade, to be in the position to be on the list of teams, and then, as I said, to open the press conference, to be given the ability to be aggressive by Clay and the other members of the ownership group. I mean, that that's what takes ideas or theory and turns it into actual practice. And I look at it being like opportunistic. To me, the risk, I don't see it as much of a risk because of the team that we have in place and the way he complements the team. It's just kind of where we are in terms of the life cycle of the organization. And the last thing I'd add is, we've been at this for 10 years now in Oklahoma City, and we've had it's been an up and down experience, but I think it's been an incredible ride for all of us to be on, and a lot of success that we've had, and the ability to find a way to sustain that, beyond the kind of the commonplace team cycle in today's NBA is about 3 years of high performance. And if we can capture that and elongate it even further than we have with a trade like this, I think it's a great thing for the city, a great thing for the fans, and a great thing for our players and coaches.
Sam,
Yep.
Chris Lincoln, Oklahoma Sports Scene here with your old buddy, Coach Ted Owens.
Hey, Coach.
Real quickly, how did Carmelo come to get on the radar of the Oklahoma City Thunder in terms of teams that accept the trade for? Any update on all the Dwayne Wade rumors?
Oh, sure. Okay, so first part of your question, it's a unique situation when a player has that ability. So it's kind of you're kind of just kind of waiting and seeing. Obviously, you're preparing. Quite frankly, we've prepared every off season exactly the same way that we prepared for this off season. Sometimes things, break in a good way, and sometimes they go against you. And we're kind of fortunate, obviously, that some of the things that we prepared for have worked out. But we got informed, by the Knicks that this was a potential opportunity, and from that point, we were able to engage. I don't want to get into how or when the conversations picked up, but our job is to be in touch with all the teams all the time, to have a pulse on what's taking place, and fortunately for us, we've been benefited by having good relationships with different people, and we have a lot of different people that we lean on to have those conversations, et cetera, and I feel like we had a good pulse on what was going on with New York, but until you're on the list, it doesn't make a difference if you can make a deal or not. So once that happened, we engaged. Scott Perry and I worked together in Seattle for a year, and have been close friends for 15 years or so. So we talk a lot, but the conversations, specifically about this deal, didn't really pick up until we got on the list. Second question, sorry, Dwayne Wade. As I said before, we try to prepare for as many situations as possible. We know that these types of buyout situations are possible. A lot of times with buyouts, there's kind of an idea in advance where the player might be leaning toward or going to. That remains to be seen, but he'll go through the process, and we'll be in touch with those people just like the rest of the league. Anytime there's an opportunity to make the team better, since 2008, or I guess really since 2008, we've tried to put ourselves in position to capitalize, at least know what's going on, but that doesn't mean that we're going to do anything. We just want to kind of understand what's taking place. And in this business, sometimes things are decided in advance, believe it or not. We'll see how that one plays out.
Sam, understanding that it's early, obviously, but to what degree have there been discussions with Melo just about positions and power forward versus small forward and where he'll be used and that sort
Sure.
of
I mean, those are conversations primarily that, Billy will have with him. I'm sure that those conversations will, continue to evolve in the coming days. But I think that the way that he impacts the team as a catch and shoot player, figuring out how we do that, and then also not getting away from the things that he does exceptionally well, which is, play with the ball in his hands. And I know Billy and his staff have been, hard at work at figuring out how to play to everybody's strengths. But at the same time, we talked about this morning that the same things win. I said this the other day, like whether you're playing in high school, college, junior college, the NBA, like there's certain truths in basketball that have to be fundamentally executed on a day-to-day basis before you can worry about, the intricacies and the tactics. And, we'll have to start working on those things tomorrow. It's not something that comes together quickly, and you definitely can't skip steps. And as I said, I'll just reiterate again, like I can write the stories for all of you. The first time that we look sloppy or we drop a game here or there, or we're working things through. That's natural, and I wouldn't say you guys shouldn't react that way. But the vision for our team and the way we've gone about our business is always to see things for what they can be and not for what they are. And I think we'll know what we can be, after 82 games, and we'll focus on what we can control to get to the end game starting tomorrow.
Sam, you talk about Billy preparing for this season. Did he have two plans going, one with Carmelo, one without? I mean, it seems like a big difference whether you have him or not.
Yeah. Well, as I said before, the opportunity to acquire a player like this and doesn't happen quickly. So it's not like you guys know I'm from New England, so it's not one if by land, two if by sea. As much as I'd like to believe that everything goes back to Paul Revere and Concord, Massachusetts, but I think that he reacts once we have a player like that in place. There's an infinite amount of possibilities that could take place, but I think what makes Billy really good is he focuses on what he has, how to create the best version of that. And one of the reasons once I remember sitting up here with him when we introduced him as the coach in this room, and a lot of questions were posed to me. He's like, well, what were the criteria, the things that you thought were important? And one of the things that I thought was really important, why I thought he would be a great coach for us, was he's shown that he's evolved and continues to adapt. He's very curious. He has a creativity. He has a lot of the criteria or qualities of like a high performance person, regardless if they're coaching basketball or doing something else. And so one of those things is adaptability and curiosity, and I think that's a huge strength of his, that he hasn't just held on to the things that have worked, but he's been willing to push the limits, be creative, and go through some of the messiness that gets it's kind of a requirement for making progress. And so I think we'll see some of that. I hope we see some of that, to be honest with you. I hope we see some stretching. I hope we see some things that we didn't think about or haven't thought about yet, because that's the only way I think you can break through and continue to make progress versus just stay in the lane. Sometimes you've got to be willing to go through some of the creative process in order to get the benefit of progress. I think he'll do that.
Thank you, Sam.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Donovan will be next.
He's going to be after there.
Are they not on now?
me ask you, Billy, you thought you had added one superstar, you've added two. The pressure sort of goes to you to figure out how to use these guys. What have you done, and what are your immediate thoughts about how you incorporate Carmelo?
Well, I still think that with this happening so close to, the first day of training camp, you still have to do things as a team to be successful on both ends of the floor, both offensively and defensively. Obviously, Carmelo is a great scorer. He's done it for a really, really long period of time. I had a chance to spend some time with him yesterday. Really enjoyed, being around him. But for us, it's going to be that process of, coming together as a team, because we obviously have a lot of new players, a lot of different players that have never played with each other. And that process beginning tomorrow to understand that this will be a journey that we'll have to go on together as a group to try to continually improve and get better and become hopefully as close as we possibly can to our ability.
Billy, how much of you got talent? How much is it going to be these guys understanding, just because they've all been lead role guys? I mean, is it much a mentality thing? It's just an X and O deal, how they have to work together?
Well, I think that's the case on any team if you want to be successful. Like, there are certain things that, I just consider the rules of basketball that you have to do, to be a good basketball team on both ends of the floor. And, these guys have been in the league for a long period of time. They've had a lot of individual success. They've had team success in different situations. So, again, I think for me, like, the opportunity that we have is the opportunity that we get a chance to go to work every day and improve, get better, and try to figure out, how we can be the best version of ourselves. And again, we'll have to do it collectively as a group. I mean, certainly Russell and Paul and Carmelo, there's a lot of excitement around them, and rightfully so. But, Steven Adams, Andre Roberson, Jeremy Grant, Raymond Felton, like, we got to be a team, and it's got to be all of us collectively as a team. And I think that's where the focus is right now going forward.
Billy, sorry to turn it back to the trio, but do you have a hunch even as to how Russ, Paul, and Carmelo can enhance one another's games?
Well, I think that's it right there. How do we as a team and as a group of players make each other better? And I think to expect Russell, Paul, and Carmelo, or anybody else on our team, whether it be Patrick Patterson being new and Raymond Felton being new, that they're going to hit the ground tomorrow running, and it's just going to be this cohesive unit that's played together for 5 years that just hasn't skipped a beat. That's the challenging part. That's the exciting part, when you start with the building of a team. Once training camp starts, is those are the things that we're going to have to work through and get better at. And I think we've got a group of guys that are really good guys that are going to want to do that. I think they understand the things that you have to do to be a good team. So those are areas that we'll have to work through and get better at.
Billy, Sam was in here saying that you kind of view Carmelo as a little underrated as a passer. I wonder if you could just speak to what you see as his strengths, where on the floor you think he might be best suited. Is he a power forward, and what he might be able to bring to wherever he is? Yeah,
I think with a guy like Carmelo and certain players, they're almost positionless players when it comes to from an offensive standpoint because of their ability to do so many different things offensively. I found it very interesting a couple of years ago, even seeing him a little bit, with Team USA and how he played there and different situations he was in there and the way he played the game. Carmelo, even the last 2 years playing against the Knicks, in watching film, like, he's really a smart player. He knows how to play. I think he's got a good feel of how to play. I do think he sees the floor. I do think he has very, very good vision. And I think he put that on display, with Team USA at points in time. So I do think he is, because of his ability to score. I think there's sometimes with players like that, they may miss out on seeing a lot of other things that they're capable of doing.
Billy, you guys had to part with Enes Kanter in order to get this deal done, and Enes was such a big part of the rebounding dominance that you all have had for the past 2 or 3 years. Does losing a guy like that and gaining a guy in Carmelo Anthony, does it force you to kind of shift your identity as a team and play more of those small ball lineups?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the game's changed in a lot of different ways, over the years. For me as a coach, I think the hard part sometimes is, being with Ennis for 2 years and just the kind of person he is, and the impact that he had on our team. His sense of humor, his, I think, connection inside the team will be missed. And Ennis was a great guy. He was a great team. He obviously loved being here. And to your point, he, in my opinion, is maybe the best offensive rebounder in the game. And, I think he'll be missed. But as we, I think, look at our team now, utilizing different lineups across the front line gives us, some flexibility maybe to do some different things. With Carmelo's situation just happening the other day, I think as a coach, you're always trying to figure out ways to maximize the group. I think defensively, you're going to have systems and schemes. Offensively, you're going to have things that you believe in. But also, I think offensively, you want to put guys in positions systematically that is good for them, where they're able to take advantage of their strengths and talents. For us, defensively, we're going to have to collectively rebound if we are small at times. And at times, I think we'll have to maybe offensive rebound in some different ways.
Also, Kevin Durant made some comments on Twitter talking about his time here. He said that, he didn't like playing for you. He talked about not having teammates good enough to win a championship, talked about the organization. Want to get your thoughts on that, and if there was any conversation between you and Kevin. He said that he reached out to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this, is we did communicate. I enjoyed my time with Kevin, and I felt like Kevin and I had a very, very good relationship, and outside of that, I don't think there's really anything more to say. But I felt like we had a good relationship when we were together.
Coach, how important is it to get Carmelo Anthony at this point in his career after he's accomplished so much? And what does that veteran being at that point in his career do for your locker room?
Well, I think he's huge because he has an enormous amount of respect around the league, as a player, and also as a person. And I think that only enhances and helps your locker room having a guy like that.
There's been a lot of reaction, Coach, around the league.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine. Around the league to what Donald Trump had to say on Friday, his condemnation of the demonstrations we've seen, mainly in the NFL. I just wondered what Billy Donovan's reaction to that might have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us here, and again, I didn't see all the stuff that happened. Obviously, there was a lot going on the last 24 hours here. But, we're always going to support our players, right, for free speech and things that they're, pointing out. And, for me personally, I also have great respect for our country as well. And it's certainly during some difficult times with different challenges going on. As a person that has coached for a long period of time and been around a lot of different environments and situations, there are a lot of struggles out there, and there's a lot of people fighting a lot of difficulties. And, it's unfortunate because I would like to see our country come closer together rather than being pulled further apart.
Billy, when you had Kevin and Russ there together, you ended up staggering those two guys, first and second unit. Now you kind of have three guys who are somewhere between very good and excellent, first options on a team. What's the best way do you stagger those three guys? Do you work two in a second unit? What's the best way to figure that out throughout the season?
Well, I've always said this before. When you do that, there's going to be a level of sacrifice that goes into, a person maybe doing different things, because when you stagger like that, there's going to be someone getting rests a lot of times twice per half, which could be a little bit different. But my main focus for those guys is first making sure they're comfortable and feel like they're able to get a good rhythm while they're in there playing. There's no question staggering those guys and putting different combinations, whether it be the two of them out there together or the three of them or one of them, that's something that, without question, that we'll have to look at and evaluate and figure out what's the best way to go in doing that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Russell will be next.
Hey Bailey, when you give the mic to someone, will you get my attention just so I don't overdo it?
Did you see my text? I told him that you know your name, don't you?
How y'all doing? You all right?
Russell, good to see you.
How you doing, brother?
Good. Will you sign the contract extension before the start of the season?
Say it again.
Will you sign your contract extension that's on the
Oh,
table
man.
at the beginning of the season?
Man, it's been a long, long summer. Had a baby. So been working on a little fatherhood. But like I said before, man, this is a place I want to be. I love being here. I'm excited about the season. Obviously with a lot of new changes. And, I'm excited. And from that, I'm going to leave it there.
Russell, lots happened in the last 3 months. Roster-wise, what do you think of all of a sudden Paul George, Carmelo are your teammates now?
Amazing, man. To be able to play with those two guys and the rest of the guys we have, it's amazing, man. And I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to making, a great run, and I'm happy, they're here. So,
Russell, how much did you talk to Carmelo in recent days? How much were you guys involved in just kind of trying to get him here?
We always been friends. We always communicated, prior to any of this, and it just happened just a couple days ago. But we always been friends and communicated and hung out, and and not just talking about basketball, just being friends. And the same thing with PG, just communicating as well.
Russ, you've had multiple players come out. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous. Let me come back.
We've all been there, dudes, right? Hey, Russ. You had a guy like Carmelo Anthony. Sorry. You had a guy like Carmelo Anthony, phenomenal talent, but then you lose a guy that was so important to you guys over the last few years in Enes Kanter. Just some thoughts over his time here and him as a teammate.
Enes is an amazing guy, man. I'm just thankful that he was able to be here. I wish him nothing but the best. Amazing guy, great community guy, team guy, and he was one of those guys that always brought some type of flavor to the locker room, to our team, and I'm just excited for him and nothing but good things for him.
Russell, you got a lot of obviously new faces. Does Team USA help you at all? I mean, how you guys that you played together, especially like Carmelo, does that help at all in the transition? Just talk about some of the changes.
Definitely it definitely will help. I mean, obviously when you have a team and playing Team USA, you have a lot of superstars and different guys on the same team, so guys have to sacrifice and do different things, and that definitely helps. But here we got to figure out the best way, for everybody to play and for our team to play, and that part is easy in my opinion. Just being able to go out and you have one goal, and that's win a championship, and guys would do what it needs to be done to win a championship.
Russell, how specifically will you enhance Carmelo on the court? What will you do to bring out the best in what he has to offer?
You know, as a point guard, and that's a part of my job is to be able to help other guys and make their job easy. And I will constantly continue to do that for him and for the rest of our guys as well, and making his job, the PG job, and everybody's transition very, very easy.
Russell, a lot of reaction around the league so far today to what Donald Trump had to say on Friday.
Right.
I just wonder what Russell Westbrook's reaction to that would have been.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the things he's saying is outrageous. In my opinion, it's uncalled for, especially due to all the other things we have going on in the world. The people, the families, people all across the world that's hurting, that need help, that needs, guidance from our house. But I think it's just unnecessary and uncalled for. And, I'm definitely not in agreement to anything he says or never will be.
Russell, you mentioned at the beginning that Oklahoma City is the place that you want to be. And I'm just wondering what the holdup is or what the process was like for you thinking about the extension over the summer. And
the process is, like I said before, man, I've been at home. I've been traveling and just trying to get my family together, honestly. Having a new son can be a little difficult, and I've been trying to help my wife, help my family, enjoying, embracing that moment as much as I can because I know during the season I'm going to be traveling, moving around. So I just been embracing that. And finding ways to be able to do that as much as I can. And like I said before, man, like I told you guys last year, this is the place I want to be. I love being here. I love the fans. I love the people here. I'm back now to get a chance to simmer down and get everything situated. And obviously now with a few changes, I'm good. I like where I'm at and I like where our team is.
And speaking of the actual extensions, you signed an extension with Jordan too. What was that process like for you, and what led you to
that process was easy. That process was easy, man. It's just thankful to be a part of the brand. Obviously for the next 10 or so years, man, and I'm excited just to be with the Jordan brand, and I'm excited for that whole experience.
Russell, I know you're an NFL fan, so I'm sure you saw some of the different forms of protest that happened yesterday. Do you see that spilling over into this league? And if so, how do you see that manifesting itself?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I think, as for me and in our team here, if it's something that, we will discuss and go back to the team and discuss how we want to approach, that in the national anthem. We have a lot of respect, for the flag, for the national anthem. And obviously, if our guys, want to do something that represents and represents togetherness and something that we can sit together as athletes, I'm all in for it.
Hey, Russ, this is your team now, so can you just talk about the job that Sam Presti's done to put these players like Carmelo and Paul George around you to try to get that championship?
Oh, man, he's done an amazing job, man. He's done a great job, ever since I've been here. He's finding ways to constantly keep making us a better team, and for that, you definitely very, very thankful to have that somebody like that in charge of making those decisions. He's done an amazing job of that.
Russell, Sam said that you had an injection in your knee. I wanted to ask, how's your knee doing, and what's the severity of that?
I'm great, man. It's just PRP, just normal stuff. Something I do honestly, in the summertime. Just had to move it back this year because, like I told you, I've been at home. So just, a lot of different things going on. And for me, family is the most important thing in my life. And I take I take that very, very seriously, and I take time to be able to embrace the moments of that. So, just moved it back a little bit, and I'm fine. So I'll be ready to go soon.
Now, you said that's something you do in the summertime. Is this something you've had before?
No. I've been able to get checkups. My knee is fine, great, and I'm doing well.
Yes, Russell, how does it feel going from being Russell Westbrook, the basketball player for the past 9-10 years, to being Russell Westbrook, the fashion icon, the fashion maven for the past month?
Past month?
I mean, you've been big time for the past month.
Man. Where you been at? Man, look, it's been great. I had a book come out, so that's been a great experience. But I wouldn't say that just started a month ago. But I'm happy and excited to be able to kind of expand my brand all over the place and do different things. But just happy to be back. So, yeah. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Jeremy, a lot of changes on the roster. How do you see your role fitting into this? Because people talk about the second unit and everything else. And how do you see your role changing with just all these new additions, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, et cetera?
I think it would be similar to last year, just coming off the bench, bringing energy, just trying to do whatever I can, just trying to be as versatile as possible, use and kind of fit in wherever I can, like wherever coach wants to put me.
Take us back to a player's perspective when you hear the reports. Of course, George was sort of out of the blue, the George trade. Carmelo, we got a little bit of advance notice that it was possible. Then it happened. As a player, following this from afar, what goes through your mind, and how do you respond when you actually hear the news?
Just extremely excited to be a part of a team like this, an organization like this that's willing to do whatever it takes to be as best as you can be. I think for all the players, I definitely speak for everybody when I say everybody extremely excited.
Jeremy, do you know Carmelo from Syracuse things? Have you played against him in summers? Did you practice at the facility, the Carmelo Anthony Center yet when you were there?
Yep, I definitely know him before this. I mean, we haven't done too many workouts together, but we definitely been together, hung out a couple times and things like that.
Jeremy, there's talk in the league about people forming super teams, like the way that Golden State has a lot of great players and the way that the Heat have before. But what do you think this group of players you have now with Carmelo and Paul George and Russell Westbrook, how do you think that elevates you guys in the Western Conference standings? And what do you just think of the collection of talent y'all have now?
I definitely think we're a contender. The organization did a great job of putting a great team together, and I think the sky's the limit for us.
Jeremy, do you talk about the uniform and the alternates? What's your thoughts on especially the new futuristic the statement?
I love the new uniforms. Definitely nice. I like the material of them. I feel like it's more basketball ready.
Jeremy, with Ennis gone and you guys losing a couple guys who could play the forward position there, how do you feel like that affects your role, losing a center, losing a potential four in there as well?
I think I'm gonna have the same role. I think, just like I said, just bringing energy on the defense and offensive end, kind of running the court, just kind of doing whatever it is I'm needed to do.
Jeremy, you talk about your time with Cantor. You're only a year, but he was a pretty influential person in the locker room. Your thoughts on like him being here and you're spending time with him, and now that he's gone?
Man, I love Ennis, man. Me and him we're really close. He's a great guy, a great locker room guy, great person, great player. So we're definitely gonna miss him.
You mentioned that you worked on your shot a decent amount this summer. What fundamentally were you working on there? Like, what are you trying to shore up? I know your three-point percentage went up a lot last year. So what are you trying to shore up to try to just get that consistency?
Just with the team we have now, I know I'm gonna have a lot of open shots. I just want to be able to make and hit all my open shots. So just working on a little bit of mechanics, just a little arc, things like that, foot positioning.
Jeremy, what do you think of the West? All these seems like, Paul Millsap comes to Denver. All these guys come in West. What do you think on a night-in basis? How does that the West shape up this year in terms of just competition?
The West is going to be extremely tough. Definitely tougher than it's been. I think we'll be ready for it.
I just wonder, every team has new personnel, going into every October or every preseason. And not every team, like Barry said, not every team brings in 2 all-stars. So is this preseason, the practices, the games, is it way beyond, in terms of significance, Jeremy, is it way beyond what a typical preseason would be, since you're trying to get acclimated, to new all-star teammates?
Definitely. I think this preseason for us and this training camp for us is extremely important, just to be able to kind of come together and be able to gel. I think it's extremely important for us to get together, get in the gym together, and kind of figure out how things are going to go.
Jeremy, do you have any interest in being in the dunk contest this season?
If they ask me, we'll talk about it. Yep.
What's up, man?
Kyle, outside looking in, we hear about all these rumors and stuff about possible, like the Dwayne Wade still out there right now, Carmelo, Paul George a little bit quiet. As a player, when you hear these kinds of things, do you pay attention to it? Do you call anybody? What was your reaction when we saw these deals coming with the Thunder this summer?
Which one in
Well,
particular?
just as a
Dwayne Wade?
whole. I mean,
Yeah.
like Paul George comes here, then Carmelo, you hear Friday night, Oklahoma City, 12 hours later he's here. What just your reaction?
I think if you just get into everything that you hear, you'll drive yourself crazy. So there's a little bit of interest that goes into it, but and plus you're off doing other stuff, working out, eating, going to lunch, taking your own life into action. So it's all interesting and exciting, but there's a lot of information out there, and you can't be updated on it all. So really happy and excited about the Carmelo thing, and our team is building and becoming something special.
Is there part of you that looks at how does this affect me, like the bench and my minutes? And do you call your agent and say, hey, what have you heard? I mean, that kind of stuff?
It's a wave you got to ride that is the thing that you're not in control of. So a part of it, yeah, you got to kind of look at your career or your season, how it will affect you. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about the team. It's going to be about your given situation. So if you are here and talks are being made about your team, you should be interested. You should be invested. So yeah, that answers your question.
Yeah, Kyle, you were in the East before you got here, so you had more matchups against Carmelo, playing the same position a lot of times. What were your impressions of him as a player, a guy who had to try to guard him a lot of nights?
He was always very dangerous in his favorite spots. The Knicks did a really good job of making sure that they got him in the positions that he liked to be in. Always a very hard player to guard in a jab series. You just don't know what he's going to do. So didn't really play much against him last season, so I couldn't really talk about that. But his career and what he's done over his NBA career speaks for itself. He's an amazing player, teammate. Really happy and excited to learn from him and see him on a day-to-day basis.
Kyle, what's your phone look like? Like an hour after a Carmelo Anthony or a Paul George trade?
There was more activity on it than normal, for sure.
it's cool. I mean, what's great about that whole thing, and what kind of surrounds that type of player is, whether it's your friends or family, but you should hold that same excitement. You should just be a type of person that now realizes that there's the bar and the level is so much higher than what it was before we made that deal to make it happen. So it's almost just a reflection of both sides. A lot of excitement and a lot of interest.
Yeah, Kyle, a common theory was that Carmelo would not be interested in the Thunder just because of Oklahoma City, a guy that obviously wanted to play in New York and loved being in New York. We're not New York, not close to New York. What are you guys going to tell him when he says, "Hey, what's it like here? What's this place like?"
You guys might know it better than we do, so we're probably the wrong people to ask. But we love it here. The fans are great. I enjoy it. I enjoy the people that I come across. It's just it's a unique place because I don't think a lot of people know what Oklahoma City's like until you get here. So I think it blows your perception or your whatever you think it is, and that's a cool feeling to experience.
All right, Kyle. Last media day, you brought into our vernacular the terms cupping and float tanking. Have you done anything different this offseason that's been kind of interesting, kind of new?
I would say my brother getting married would probably be the thing that really shaped my kind of given state. To see him take the next stage in his life, to bringing in another family to our family was really special and really cool, and kind of prioritizes certain things in my life. So my brother taking a lot of responsibility and ownership and love on his side was amazing, and to experience that, to see that was cool. So my life alone, didn't really add anything new. Still do the floating. I still do the cupping. I think I do enough to not add anything more.
Kyle, do you feel like this trio you have now with Westbrook, Melo, and Paul George, do you think that would qualify as what people like to call a super team? Because you have the Golden States, and you've had iterations of strong teams before. But how do you feel like this three makes the Thunder in that super team category?
Their chemistry is great. I think they're going to be really a great tandem, or just a great core group for us to kind of build our team around. It's just going to be really fun to watch them play because they're very similar. They're all very aggressive and scoring mentality players, very competitive players. So to see how that all comes together and work will be quite the thing, and for the other guys too on the team to integrate themselves with how they play will be great. It's great to see, and I think we have guys on our team to understand how to make it all work and to make it happen. Thank you.
Probably going to have a couple minutes real quick. Nick, hopefully.
but I don't.
You mean?
I think they're on soft, but they're not.
Well, they're all plugged into a box that's plugged into that, so their audio's fine. I see. It's okay.
Sit on the front row. Go sit behind. Yeah. Shoot, steady. Who's your best NBA player? JoJo? Who's second? Nobody. Bill Bridges? Bill Bridges? I was his assistant. So Bill was the leading rebounder as a forward in the NBA 12 years. He's good. Well, Paul, the team's quite a bit different from even when you got traded in July 1st. So what do you think of adding Carmelo?
Carmelo, you know, I think we we definitely felt great about what we had previous to Carmelo being traded. But now adding someone like Carmelo takes this team to another level. In my eyes, one of the best true scorers and players that this league has ever seen, and you know, it's a luxury to play alongside him instead of having to deal with a cold tub right after the game and playing him. So looking forward to his addition and what he's going to bring.
He's been around a long time, but still an effective scorer. You generally, I assume you guarded him most games.
Mm-hmm.
What's he still like to play against?
He's still tough. I think the biggest thing is the competitive nature in him. To go alongside of him being a bruiser, and you know, just his mindset. He's one of the most skilled. It's not even his ability to score, but just the skill that he has to do other things as well. It's going to make him a very, very great piece for you know, coach and for Russ and I to be able to use.
Paul, you guys do some similar things. How do you see your game and his game working together?
Well, hopefully, you know, Russ and I both make the game easy as possible for Mel. You know, I think I can take the alongside with Roberson, taking the matchups defensively to leave Melo just to do what Melo does, and that's put points on the board, and that's to be a mismatch, a matchup problems on the offensive end. But, you know, really is to take that pressure off him defensively to where he doesn't have to exhaust himself chasing the smaller guys or have to, you know, defend the primary guys on most nights. So I think we'll work well together. We're completely different players in my eyes, but we both have one common goal, and that's to win. And, you know, he's ready to win and he wants to win now. So, you know, we definitely got that in common.
Paul, this was a question even before Melo arrived, but, you know, just the divvying up of the shots. You, Carmelo, and Russell are guys who are used to taking a bulk of the shots. How do you think that's going to work in the offense this year with you guys working together?
I mean, it should work. This is not something that's new. You know, this is not something new where three guys have been paired up and they haven't found ways to win. You know, it's not going to be about who's getting shots. You know, all of us we talked about this. It's whoever has the flow, whoever has it going, and then it's you know, I've always played the game as, you know, you let the game dictate who shoots, and you know, those guys play the game the same way. So I'm not worried about shots. Neither of those two guys. We want to win, and that's it.
Paul, what does this tell you about this new organization you come into, the Oklahoma City Thunder, their commitment to winning, adding pieces like you and Carmelo?
It means a lot. You know, it means a lot. When your front office is that active in the summer and free agency and acquiring not only players but acquiring superstar players, it says a lot about that front office. You know, it sure says a lot to Russ that, you know, they're committed to bringing and putting guys around him that's going to give him the best chance to win. That's what you want to see out of a front office.
Most people agree the shorter preseason, they like that. But with all the new pieces, and not just you guys, but working with your new teammates, you got a shorter time to get that together. How do you deal with that? How long do you think it'll take before you guys can get
You know, I'd be a realist. It's going to take a little bit, but I think the best thing about it, myself with Melo, we have some chemistry to an extent playing with USA together. Russ and Carmelo played together in USA, so to some extent and degree, we have some a level to start off at. We have a base, I think. But, you know, it's going to take some time. We want to get going as soon as possible and get used to one another as soon as possible. But I think if we take the approach day to day and focus on something to get better at day to day, we'll be all right.
Okay. Your versatility is remarkable at a really high level. Is there any particular thing that that you feel is not a weakness, but something you can improve on, and is there something on the other end that you feel is just your biggest strength?
I think the strength is that ability to do multiple things. I think being versatile at the small forward position, offensively and defensively, is what I think make me unique in this league. I think the biggest thing I can work on, and I'll have tremendous help in that, is the leadership part. And you know, I think is the greatest chapter for me in my career and in my life, is to have, you know, other guys I can look up to as well, who can help me on the leadership and you know, accountability, and you think all of that will kind of play a part in this process for myself.
Paul, obviously Carmelo had a choice in where he went. He had to waive a no-trade clause to come here. How much did you guys converse with him about being here, and what did you say to him about those things?
Oh, we sold it, man. We sold the heck out of it. I told him about the ponds that I've been on, the fish I've been catching out here. No, you know, we've talked. We've had long conversations. Not even knowing that this would be the destination we end up, but just speaking or talking about the possibility of playing alongside one another in the NBA. And we've had these conversations being in the Olympic team of playing alongside one another. So, you know, when I got traded here and, you know, found out that, you know, he wanted to change his destination, and, you know, we reached out to one another. We started talking and tried to figure out how we can make this work to get him here. And, you know, it's awesome to have guys to want to play alongside you and team up with you and share a mission with you. So we got right to it. And the same went for us, you know. Those two are pretty close. You know, we all were kind of in the loop on what was going on, and we made it possible.
Speaking of that, PG recruiting, there's been sources saying that you've been talking to D-Wade. You guys were trying to recruit him too. Can you just talk about that a little bit and see what, you know, what's going on with that as far as bringing him here?
Hey, that's between Sam and D-Wade. You know, it'd be great. It'd be great to get D-Wade back. I got a chance to work out with him a little bit ago, late in the summer, and man, he looks really good. So. It'd be great to get D-Wade here. You know, if he's bought out, he's a free agent, sure. I'm in his phone text, I'm in his DMs, his Snapchat, whatever I got to do. I'm try to get this dude here.
Paul, in today's NBA, is it realistic to think that this is what it takes to win a championship, to assemble this kind of talent, yourself, Russell, and Carmelo? Absolutely.
You know, we get criticized a lot for being friendly and you know, not being able to do it alone. Honestly, in this league, you know, it's hard to do it alone. You know, Russ averaged a triple-double, and you know, he couldn't get out the first round, and that's a special talent in a guy that did everything he could to win. But you just need, you know, guys of that stature and that level to be able to help and create something special. You know, it's just that era where you got to face teams that are going to have 2 or 3 guys that can take over games and be iconic to this league. So I do think, you know, you have to have that to compete in this league.
There's been a lot of reaction yesterday in stadiums, Paul, and then today around the league and media days of the NBA in regard to Donald Trump's Friday comment. Just what do you expect? There's the league rule, I guess, that specifies you guys have to line up for the anthem. But what do you anticipate in the NBA in regard to, you know, the first month of the season or the season as a whole or whatever in regard to a statement?
I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure. I can't speak for other organizations or other teams or the locker rooms. Hopefully, whatever we do as a unit, as a union and as a fraternity, we do it. Everyone has take a part into doing something. Hopefully, we do something as a league that gives us strength. I thought what the NFL is doing right now is beautiful. They're showing a lot of power, not only from the players, but the front office making statements that they're going to back their players up in whatever they do. I thought that was very powerful. So hopefully we can approach it the same way the NFL is doing it. I saw MLB guys taking part into it. So if we could just realize what's at hand, we're the face of a lot of things. We're a face of a lot of brands. We can use that platform to kind of catapult what's going on. That's where we can make our mark on.
Thank you, Paul.
Appreciate it.
Somebody got questions.
Yeah, Carmelo, whenever the possibility of you coming to Oklahoma City was brought up, the common theory was you would never want to play in Oklahoma City.
That's because nobody really knew me. But
So my question is, anything, obviously great roster and great organization, but the thought of playing and living in Oklahoma City, why was that okay for you?
well, first of all, it happened so fast, so quickly. Where I had to make a quick decision. But believe it or not, Oklahoma City was a team that me and my team talked about. We discussed it, and if the opportunity presented itself, whereas though we can kind of bring a deal to the Knicks organization, is something that both parties feel comfortable with. This was a team, this was an organization, this was a city that I had no problem coming and being a part of.
Carmelo, how much did Russell and Paul play a part in that, just in terms of convincing you to be here and wanting to play with you?
Russ don't really do the convincing. He came to New York, played pickup at my gym. I saw him in Paris at Fashion Week. Me and Russ became closer and closer over the years, and he was a big part. He was a big reason why I wanted to come here. To see his loyalty to the city, to this organization, what he was able to do, on the court. I wanted to be a part of that. Adding PG was just another reason why I wanted to come here. Our relationship, our friendship, but our respect for one another as basketball players was a reason that I wanted to play alongside him and have an opportunity to compete for a championship and kind of just bring, some more energy. Not like this city needs any more energy, but, it's a different energy, a different focus, a different motivation that I myself have, Paul has, and Russ has, being that we haven't won a championship yet in our career, and we see that, and that's our ultimate goal.
You posted on your website kind of like a love letter to New York, saying goodbye to everybody. When you look back, and I guess, how will you reflect on your time with the Knicks, and how do you hope fans will remember your legacy there?
Well, I think you would have to ask those fans. I think for every fan, they would give you a different answer to that. But I thought I became a product of my environment as far as adjusting to what I had to adjust to from a basketball standpoint. Win, lose, or draw, I was there every night. I came in, competed every night. I stayed professional throughout, all the ups and downs of, that comes along with being in New York. It was a lot of noise, so I had to find some type of, quietness and, find some me time to, try to figure this all out. But I don't think the fans will have anything bad to say, because I think they understand. They're very educated. They understand what it's like playing in New York. And for me, I feel like I've embraced all of those challenges, playing in New York. And off the court, I was very, engaged with the community, engaged with the youth. family, friends. You know, I will always feel like I'm a major part of that city, so that's not going anywhere. And I just want those fans to understand that this was a business decision. This was a career decision, and you know, it happens. It's sports. You know, there's times in sports where everybody got to go their separate ways, and there's no hard feelings. There's no bad blood between, you know, myself and that organization or anybody over there. But I'm here now, and you know, I would like to close that chapter and, you know, begin this new chapter.
The common thing when you bring three guys that have been lead dogs on their teams, can they mesh? Do you see that as a problem? And then two, you got a short preseason, which I think everybody likes, players and fans alike, but that's a shorter time to work together. Do you see that being an issue?
I don't see. The only issue I probably would say that we're going to face is the chemistry early. You know, getting to know one another. Not trying to make it all happen all in one night, all in one game, and understand that this is a process. This is a marathon, and you know, it's going to take a little bit of time to, you know, for us to gel. Not just us three, but the whole team to get a chance to know one another. But at the end of the day, it's basketball, and you know, I didn't want to come here to try to outshine Paul or Russ and vice versa. You know, we're trying to win basketball games, and by any means necessary, we're going to do that. And I'm going to bring, you know, my skill set, you know, here to this team, here to this organization, and you know, that's what I'm here for. And I've always been kind of a product of my environment and being able to just be a chameleon in the sense of just blending into my situation and making that situation work, whatever it calls for, whether I was with the New York Knicks, whether I was on the USA team, and even here in Oklahoma.
Carmelo, you've carried an awful lot of the scoring load on your teams throughout the years. Just what does it mean to you to look at the roster, look at these guys, and recognize that you don't necessarily have to do that anymore?
Yeah, it's a difference, though, because I don't want to take the load on of have to do it and score and 30, 40, 50 points every night. But, I mean, I score. That's, you know, that's what I do. I can't take that away from me. I think being that I do that very well, I think this team needs that, you know, along with, you know, some other things. So I didn't come here to just be a rebounder, or, you know, I came here to bring my skill set to this team and, you know, and fit into kind of what's the plan. I haven't sat down with Coach yet to see kind of, you know, how we're going to play, what we're going to do, and schemes and things like that. But for the most part, I just want to be able to do what I do best within the confines of, you know, the system and what Coach won, and being able to work alongside Russ and PG.
Carmelo, you only get one chance to make a first impression, they say. What was your first impression? The fans meeting you at the airport, your first impression of Oklahoma City?
Unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. You know, to go from a situation where it was just so, you know, it was an emotional roller coaster for me, you know, being back in New York. At times it was very strenuous on myself, on my family. You know, my family is actually, you know, still there back in New York. So I just want to take my hat off to them for being able to stick it out with me and deal with that and deal with me after, you know, the long nights and the lonely nights. But to come here on the flip side of that and just feel that passion and feel that energy, and anytime you feel wanted and appreciated, you know, that you can't even put those, you know, those feelings into words.
Carmelo, what's your history with Billy Donovan? How well do you know each other, and what are your thoughts on him as a coach?
Honestly, I really don't. I mean, I have no history with Coach. You know, so that's going to be another process that we have to get used to. But I respect him, Hall of Fame coach. I respect him. I know his, you know, I know his pedigree. I know what, you know, his resume. I know what he's about. Technically speaking, he's a young coach in, you know, in this league, still learning. But I'm all in. I'm all in with him. You know, whatever he needs from me, I'm there. You know, he can communicate with me. He can come talk to me. I can come talk to him. And I think that's the way that we're going to make this thing work. And you know, I'm letting him coach. I'll be the player, and you know, I respect that, and we go from there.
Melo, I had two questions actually. The first is, how do you feel about starting at the 4, or the concept of starting at the 4, or even coming off of the bench? And the second question is,
Who, me?
Oh. I guess that answers that part.
I mean, I don't know where that started, where that came from. Hey, Pete, they said I got to come off the bench. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, well, how do you? I guess the bench question is not a question, but how do you feel about the potential of starting at the 4? And then on a lighter note, how do you feel about the phenomenon of Hoodie Melo?
The first part is to speak on playing the 4. I won't even call it the power forward position anymore in this day and game. It's a 4. It's a number. You're out there on the basketball court. It's a position. I don't feel no type of way. I feel like there has been times where I've been my strongest at that position, and like I said earlier, I can adjust. If you need me to play the 3, which is my natural position, I would do that. You need me to play the 4, which is, I think I can actually be a lot better at the 4 with this team. Then I'll do that. And I'll be moving around, so I'll be moving around. But I have no problem with playing the 4, none at all. I actually like that. I actually embrace that, and I think for this team, it would be better for me to play the 4 and more beneficial to everybody. And the Hoodie Melo thing, for me it was just actually it started with a beanie. Like I was just in the gym and I didn't have a haircut, and I was like, I'm just gonna go and throw a hat on. I wanted to sweat. I just started working back out in the summer, and then from there it went to a hoodie, and it got out, and the phenomenon started. But for me, it was just about showing a different focus that I have, a different motivation, and just kind of just locking in to what I have to do, and locking myself into the gym, and locking myself into focusing in on my body, and because I didn't know what was going to happen, so it was just so much going on that was surrounding me that I just wanted to find a way that I can just focus in, and that's when Hoodie Melo was created.
Carmelo, can you tell us where Dwayne Wade will be playing this year?
Where is he? I have no idea, to be honest with you. I would love to have him here in Oklahoma City, but am I allowed to say that? Is that tampering? Oh, he's free now? Come on, D. You know where you belong at. Come on. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, Carmelo, with the lack of media coverage on Puerto Rico after the hurricane.
That's the most important question of the day.
And with you being one of the few players in the league with familial ties to the island, can you tell me what you're doing maybe to help the recovery efforts, and maybe what your new fan base can do to help you out with that?
Yeah, well, I've started kind of a You Caring page, a link, and just kind of trying to raise the funds to kind of bring Puerto Rico back and help Puerto Rico by any means necessary. I'm committed to my island to help everything, and I'm talking to the government officials down there. I'm talking to all these organizations of just trying to figure everything out. I don't want to just do something just to do it. I want it to be meaningful. I want the people to feel impacted by what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to create. So it's just so much that's just going on right now down there on the island that it's hard to say I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. It's not until we really figure out exactly what's going on, exactly what we're going to do. But I'm committed, and I call on everybody, any and everybody, to not overlook Puerto Rico, because there's so many things that's going on in the world today, in our country today, and at the end of the day, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, so we cannot overlook that island. So I challenge the powers that be, the President of the United States, to not overlook, Puerto Rico. Don't overlook our, Puerto Ricans. We need your help. We need all the help that we can get. So, thank you.
see you.
Yeah, Nick, what's new?
Yeah, not much. Another day at the office.
What do you think of? I mean, it's a different team than you left when last April. What do you think of all the changes?
Yeah, it's surprising. I think it's really good for us. We got a lot of talent. I think a lot of guys are motivated to have the best team we can. And but yeah, you're right. A lot of changes, and you know, we'll see how it goes. I think it's our job to get to work and try to figure out the best way to play together and best way to have the best season we can.
Nick, if you could take me back to 2003 and seeing Melo in the championship game and what you remember about that, and just what's it like now to be a teammate with that guy so many years later?
I mean, to me, that game for me stings more than any game. That loss, losing in a championship game. But we battled, man. We played as hard as we could, and he was great as a young player, as a freshman. Jerry McNamara hit a ton of threes. It was just like it was a rough game for us, but you know, that's a great moment for him and really springboarded his career into the NBA. But I'm you know, excited to have him as a teammate. I think he's a really good player, and he's going to help us a lot. And it's good to have. For me, I enjoy having more veteran guys around, and I think it's going to really work out well.
Nick, does this collection of talent, of stars, remind you at all of when Harden and Kevin Durant were here with Russ?
I think it's just different because those guys, everybody was so young then. It was we didn't know how good we were or what we had, I think, with those teams until we got to the end of the season and were able to keep winning playoff series. So it is a different feel, I think, just because of the stage that guys are at in their careers. But it is a similar feel with a lot of talent, and I think that's always a good thing is to have plenty of talent and then have to figure out you know, how to play with it. It's better than the alternative to not have enough talent to beat some of these teams.
Hey, Nick, right over here, DJ Raven K with 105.1 KBLP. Good to see you still on the team, buddy.
Thank you.
I just want to give a compliment because Mr. Priestley, he's assembling maturity. And that's what I see with the squad right now. And like you touched on that just a moment ago. I think with Carmelo now, and you got George wanting to get in his game more mature, and Russ has help, and all of you guys now could come together as a unit and be a cohesive unit, not just because of the names. I know that's a lot of what's going on, you know, and a lot of people are really excited about that. But I think when you have a level of maturity involved, that leadership just exuberates, and that makes you a well-oiled machine because you know the parameters in which you have to work. So give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think you're right. We've built a lot of successful teams here with a lot of youth, and but we've always had veteran guys that have been there to lead by example, to try to help younger players. And I just think when you have veterans that can also still play really well, I think that's the best case. And you know, those guys have been through a lot of battles, and they're gonna just understand how to play, how to win games. There's some little things you understand as a player with some experience that you can pick up, and I think it'll be good for us.
A lot of reaction to what Donald Trump had to say Friday, Nick, in NFL stadiums yesterday, and then today throughout the NBA at different media day events. What was your reaction to it, and what do you anticipate maybe the reaction throughout the league might be after the season starts? Will it be universal? Will it be team by team, guy by guy? How do you think that'll play out?
Well, I'm disappointed in the president's comments. I think he's got an opportunity to try to bring people together, and it seems like every time he has a chance, he tries to tear people apart. I don't know if it's for political gain or what, but I think part of being an American and loving America and loving the country is loving your fellow American and the other people who make up this country. So when people have an issue that they protest, they're trying to make the country a better place. And whether you agree with them or disagree with them, to then make them your enemy does nobody any good. And for me, it's disappointing. I think it's, you know, players are players are in an interesting position in this country where they have a huge voice, and they can try to use that for good and to unite the country. I think that's what guys are trying to do. I know it's a tricky situation, and a lot of people disagree with it, but I just wish, instead of instantly saying it's us against them and fighting the culture wars that everybody seems to fight all the time, I just wish there would be more listening and trying to make it better and solve problems instead of just point out whose fault it is for problems.
Nick, you've put in your time talking about how you wanted a shorter preseason back when it was 8 games and a month long and whatever, and now it's shorter and you got all these billion pieces that you have to work in. Do you kind of wish they were putting in that rule?
This is maybe the one year I was a guy that had been used to a lot of continuity. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Coach Donovan would like as much time as we could have, but you know, we're going to be on this level playing field. Everyone else has got a short camp, and you know, that's good about what we were saying about experience. I think that'll help guys understand how to play the game and understand how to play basketball. So I think that'll help us. It's probably easier to have, you know, a shorter camp with more veteran guys, but it'll be a challenge. You know, we got to get the most out of every day we're together.
Nick, you're one of the league's elder statesmen, so to speak. You're one of the liked and respected guys, not just by fans, but by players and executives as well. Do you see a future in basketball after you're done playing, maybe coaching, maybe in the front office, maybe with the Thunder?
Possibly. I think I really want to go into this season and really make the most as a player. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, since I was a kid, and it very well might be my last year. It's probably my last year, and I want to make the most of it. So I don't want to be like 1 foot out the door, but I think whenever that time comes, I'll put in a lot of thought. You know, I want to be able to balance my personal life. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and just making sure I have enough time for her. So there's a lot of things in play there. But yeah, the game has been great to me. I enjoy the game. I think I have something to offer, but it's still a little bit down the road to make those decisions.
Yeah, Nick, how tough of a job does Billy have this year, trying to mash all these new pieces and high-profile pieces?
Well, I think it's as a coach, I'm sure you want to be able to have a lot of talent, and I think that's what you want more than anything. I think we have that. You know, I think it could be. I think having new guys in general is difficult. Just trying to get people to understand every single set and all the things that you got to put in for a basketball team. It's, you know, to be able to come in with, you know, your top 7 guys back obviously is an advantage, but it's tough. But I think the players are really, all these guys that are new are all in a point in their career. I think they're really engaged and really excited. Really want to have a good year. They got, you know, they're older in their career. They want to have success, team success, and I think that's why they're here. And so I think that's a good starting point. And we'll figure it out. There'll probably be days where we're with so many new guys, we don't look great and we struggle. But as always, like we always say here, it's about putting the work in day by day, and then at the end of the year, you have the best team possible.
Nick, you've seen a lot of guys come and go in the organization. Seeing Ennis leave the other day, had you ever seen a bigger ambassador to a community and to the team like Ennis?
I mean, Ennis was great for us while he was here, and that's a really hard part about what we do. Guys are coming and going all the time, and yeah, Ennis loved Oklahoma City and was so active in the community and did so many good things, and you know, I think he understands it. It's a business. That's the line everybody says, but it's true. And he'll continue to do those things wherever he can. That's the type of guy he is, and to him that's as important as his basketball career is what he's doing to help other people.
I just wanted to say I tried asking Russell a question about 20 minutes ago, and it came out poorly, and now I'm trending on Twitter. But I want to go ahead and get a rebuttal here. So I'm just curious, are you expecting a farewell tour this season?
I don't think anybody out of Oklahoma would even know about whether, you know, where I'm at in my career. So not really. I think, you know, I pretty, like I said, I'm pretty sure I probably didn't handle it the best, have been clear on whether it is or not. I'm pretty sure it is. You never know whether it's my last year or not, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just gonna enjoy it and try to make the most out of it. And yeah, that's about all I really had to say about it.
Giving up Ennis and bringing back Melo means that you guys are down a center from where you were 72 hours ago. Have you had conversations since and what that might do to your playing time in comparison for last year? Have you guys even gotten to that point?
No, we haven't got to that point. I think for me, I've learned that you just have to be ready, and things happen, things change, guys get hurt. You usually get an opportunity at some point. So for me, I'm trying to be in as good a shape, be as healthy as I can, and see what happens. I think that's always as a player, that's always the best mindset, is to not think anything's set in stone or think anything's going to happen. Just be ready for it, and if opportunity comes, it'd be great. And I hope I'm able to do well with it and play well with it.
How do you think this organization is showing that it's willing to continue to go out and add key pieces? How do you think that reflects on a guy like Russell or Paul George that has a decision to make, whether it's before training camp or in free agency in 2018?
Mm-hmm. I think, well, as players, you want to have the best team possible, and we appreciate the team or the front office doing what they can to give us that. And as always, I feel like those guys know what they're doing, and they've got a proven track record, and they've made good decisions. So this is what they want to do with the team. So we're here, we're happy about it, and I think Russell knows that that the team has been supportive of his career, and it's been a good place for him. But for us, we play with who we got, and we'll be ready to go. And I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be a fun year, I think. All right.
Who said that? Oh, what's going on? Who said that? No, that's it. All right, first question.
Hey, Dre.
Let's get it over with.
Russell still has a decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
Paul George is going to be a free agent, but this team continues to add key pieces. Added Carmelo Anthony this weekend. What do you think that message sends to guys like Russell and Paul George, who have decisions to make, that the team is not only still going and willing to do it, but they're able to pull off these moves time and time again?
It just shows you how much we're invested in the organization and Russell and the guys we bring in. It just shows you how much they mean to this organization and how much we want them back. And I think they know that. It's all up to them on the decisions. I'm a grown man, and I think they'll do what's best for them and themselves and their family. So, yeah.
We like to talk about super teams in the NBA, whether it's now with the Warriors or years back with the Heat. Do you think this qualifies the Thunder now with having this trio of shooters and scorers as a super team?
Yeah, for sure. Got 3 All-Stars on the team. Type of caliber players they are, I definitely think this qualifies as a super team. There's not that many teams in the league with as many stars as we have. Definitely with those, throw ourselves up there. So, yeah, just got to make things happen.
Andre, what kind of opportunities do you see for yourself as an offensive player when you have 3 other offensive players of that caliber out there with you?
I see a lot of opportunity, to be honest. Just knowing the main focus is going to be on those 3 guys. Just kind of play off of them, feed off of them, get out of fast breaks, cut back doors, stuff like that, spot up wide open. I see a lot of opportunity, not just for me, but, everybody else on the team. So, we got a great coach in Billy Donovan. He's going to put people in the right positions to succeed and capitalize off of defense's coverages. So, I think it'll be a big year for us.
What are you doing when you find out about the Melo trade? What's your just initial reaction when that happens?
It's a funny story behind this. I was actually out with Doug, and a notification popped up on Bleacher Report about Carmelo adding the Thunder to the list, and we just started rambling on that and like, yo, I might be out of here, man. I might be one of the guys. And next morning he was out of there, so I was like, man. I had to call him next day. He just started laughing. He was like, man, I miss you guys, but it's gonna be a great opportunity for him. Get some playing time over there, and I guess it's a win-win situation for both. So gonna miss both those guys, Ennis and Doug. They're great players and great guys. So yeah.
I know you and Ennis specifically are pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, what conversations have you had with him? Is that harder than when usually, like other times when teammates have gotten traded?
I mean, it's always hard when teammates get traded, because Thunder do a great job of bringing great guys in here, and you have great character, and you don't ever want to see people like that leave. So, and we all understand it's a business, and Ennis, he knew that at the end of the day. As much as he talks trash on Twitter, he's a real great guy, and he cares a lot for this team, this organization, and he kind of expressed that in his video he posted on Twitter and social media. So no matter how much he try to play the big bad role, he's a great guy. So he'll be missed over here.
Hey, Andre, I know over the summer you've worked on your game. I've heard that you worked on your game a lot. Now with the pieces that are in play, because this is definitely a chess game, not checkers. Yeah. Okay. You got to plan these things through. That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Thank you for knowing the movie reference from that. But with that in mind, I'm looking forward to seeing how you step up your game. I mean, when you got these pieces in play like this, it invigorates you to do better, to excel. So what part, and now that you've done all your part to train over summer, what will that make you do now that you got these other elements in play? How are you going to just get out there and get after it, son?
Like I said before, Billy's gonna do a great job putting us all in great positions as he's done in the past. It just gives us a lot of possibilities. We're all versatile on both ends of the floor, and it's just all up to chemistry now and playing together. I think we can all complement each other in certain ways. So I mean that's what a team is all about. So I guess we're still figuring that out. We got a good training camp got to go through, and great preseason to do before we start the season. So it's gonna be good.
What's your biggest individual goal this year? Is it first team all defense?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. My individual goal, I mean, just like everybody else on the team, is to win it all. Especially with the pieces we got, and it's always been a goal of mine. Team first. Individual, I guess you could say first team on defense, and improve my overall game stats. So yeah.
Speaking of defense, how much better do you think, at least the starting five will be defensively now that we got Paul? You and Russell last year were pretty much the only two perimeter players defensively that were really stout. What do you think they're going to be like this year?
I think it's going to be good. Like I said before, Paul's a versatile guy. Patrick's a good defender. We can switch a lot, go small ball, stuff like that. We get, a lot of coverages and schemes we can throw at teams to kind of mix it up and make it hard for them. So, like I said, we got a lot of possibilities. It's going to be interesting, so it's going to be fun.
Dre, you spoke about being first team all defense for yourself, but just talk about defensively what you guys can do as a whole and how ready you are for training camp tomorrow.
I mean, I'm ready as I'm ready as I ever can be. So yeah, it's tomorrow. I think we're all excited. Definitely, one of our goals is definitely try to be number one defense in the league. And we got the pieces to do it. So it's all about us going out there and doing it and doing it together, being on the right page, and growing as a unit. So it's gonna be good. Worked on a little bit of everything. Mainly, I guess you could say, is my health, my diet, taking care of my body. I guess it comes with maturity, I guess, and getting rid of junk food. But yeah, overall game, working on my shooting, handling, passing, and just trying to get better in those areas.
Did you have a relationship with Carmelo before the trade and everything?
Yeah, I've seen him out. I mean, obviously I guard him, so I mean, talking to each other half the time. But No, he's a great guy. I see him out off season, eating out, stuff like that. So we chat here and there. But it was kind of cool to see the trade go down. I was like, yep, that's my guy. So.
Dre, you just guarded him last year. Just recently you've been dealing with him. What is he now as an offensive player? What kind of challenge is he for a defender?
What kind of challenge is he? It's gonna be tough. To be honest, it's who they put on him. You got Russ, you got Paul, you got Carmelo, you got Pat, you got Steve down low. So, I don't think that many teams have that many defenders to kind of guard all three of those. So you got to kind of pick your poison. And we're gonna capitalize off of that. So Carmelo's a great player. He knows the game real well, as you probably seen in the off season with the hoodie and all. So he's definitely gotten a lot better, and I'm excited, man. He's a great player, and I think he wants to win real bad, just like the rest of us. So he fits in.
Prefer Olympic Melo or hoodie Melo?
Oh, that's a tough question. I like Olympic Melo, but I also like what I've seen this summer. So. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the hoodie then.
Nobody brought it up, but what's your thoughts on the statement jerseys and how you feel about those?
Man, I think they're a great look for us, man. Something new, something fresh. When I first seen Paul George run, I was like, man, those look better than I actually thought they were going to in the pictures. So I'm excited, man. Especially they represent Oklahoma City and what we're all about. So it's going to be good for us.
I'm sure you saw what Kevin Durant saw on Twitter, and I'm sure you had something to say about it. What was going through your head when you found out what he said?
Man, to be honest, it didn't really matter what he said. It's all in the past now. We're only control what we can control, and move forward as an organization and as a whole. So, whatever the outside noise is, we gotta let it be, and we're gonna continue to get better and grow as a unit, and move towards our goal of winning the championship. So, yeah. All right, thank you.
Oh, what's up? Hey, mate. How we doing? Lads, lasses, how are we? Closer to me.
I have to ask, Steven, with the departure of the other stash bro, Enos, what do you have to say about that, and how are you going to move forward from this after losing one of your good buddies?
He didn't die, mate. Everyone's been coming at me like he passed away. Then I would be sad, but he just moved down the road, mate. I see him soon, in 3 weeks. It's our first game. Not going to miss him. Just going to see him in a couple of days. Unbelievable.
On the court.
Yeah, exactly. No, but he's definitely going to be missed around here. It's definitely sad, but that's just how it goes. But again, the relationships that you make around here, especially in the locker room, they really stick. It ain't. We know that you might play for other teams and stuff, but so we're always going to be friends. Brothers, I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah. Do you have your glasses on backwards, bro? I do, yeah. That's awesome. I always wear them like that. Outstanding, sir.
Stephen, big changes on the roster since your last game. Felton and Patterson and the two new superstars. What's your thought of playing on a virtually new team?
No, it should be good. Yeah, I'm telling everyone, the main thing is that they're good locker room guys first, and they definitely are. They're family straight away, you know what I mean? So that's always the most important thing, and then from there it's just, just play. Obviously they're high caliber players, and they'll offer a lot to us, so, and they'll do whatever is necessary to win. Yeah.
How can you tell somebody's a good locker room player quickly? What's the sign?
My judgment's on the handshake, mate. You got to give a good, back to old school, mate. You just got to give a good handshake, eye contact, and and they all did that. It was good. So embrace them, and so yeah, that's how I know right away, good guy. So they're good guys in my books, mate.
Steve, you had a pretty good time. Steve, sure.
There we
Why
go.
not?
Best friends.
Let's get casual.
There you go, mate. Steve. No, go on, mate.
You had a pretty good time at the zoo last week. You planning on going back anytime soon?
Oh, yeah. So I was asking the dude about internships and all that. Yeah, it was sick. Can't tell you the answers, but don't laugh, mate. Come on, mate. Serious. No, just because of the zoo. The zoo was awesome, mate. It was just outstanding. Just an unbelievable place. I find it weird that Oklahoma has a zoo for butterflies. Is that weird for you guys or no? That's normal? Butterflies at a zoo? Just go to your garden, mate. Unbelievable. Might be just me, mate. Might be just me.
And the basketball stuff, last year you guys didn't nearly have the spacing that you anticipate to have this season. How do you think that's going to affect your game offensively, whether it's setting ball screens, being able to roll to the basket, that kind of stuff?
I think it's. I mean, my role's. Are you asking about the role? No, it's just what it's going to create with the new perimeter players. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, the spacing around you guys with the extra shooting,
Yeah.
Melo, Paul George, all that. How's that going to affect you in the pick and roll game and opening up the lobs and all that stuff?
Well, for me, I mean, it'll just open up the roles, but regardless, it's just going to open up a lot of things, a lot of different things now, because obviously you have to respect all the players. Perimeter shooting, every players. I'm trying to jump in on there. Okay, everyone but me. Perimeter shooting. So obviously they're gonna have to drag out more. So it's just going to create a ton of opportunities in that sense. But again, it's just about being disciplined with those little things like that, like passing and then driving and creating for great shots rather than good shots. If that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
Hey, Steven.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? I like what you've done. You're a funny guy, first and foremost. So that I love that you like to have fun with, the paparazzi and the media and stuff like that.
Paparazzi, you guys are paparazzi.
Yeah.
Disrespect, but.
Yeah, but check this out though. The thing that I've touched on all day, that I've talked about with the players that I've had the opportunity to do, is that you got maturity now on your team, and maturity on the team makes, I think, a better cohesive unit. And I think with what you've done, I think that you've practiced and worked on your game over the summer, and that will make you more attacking now back in the paint. Like the beast is back. I believe it's back.
I'll take it.
I believe.
Keep talking.
I
Feel great.
I believe.
Head's just going.
I believe it. I
Should be behind me.
see it happening because now teams won't be so quick to put you on the paint. Because I know you're going to be nailing those shots, and I know that with this team cohesion, it just revitalizes the whole group and collective. So your thoughts on how everything. Well, I just wanted to get your opinion and set it up for you. How do you think, with all the changes and what you've done as your part to make your game better, what will Steven Adams be contributing now to the Thunder basketball team as before? I know that was a long ring around.
I mean, it's hard to follow up with a question like that, honestly.
But I love.
So I can't give you much.
Compliments. I believe in sandwiching.
I can't give you much after that question. Wow, that was outstanding. It's almost like an exam. No, so what am I going to contribute? I guess it's just more the same. It's all the same stuff. Again, but it's just down to the coach and what we have to do as a team to put us in the best position to win. Because obviously we have an ultimate goal. We want to reach that regardless of any individual stats or whatever. So whatever it takes, really, and whatever he asks. I mean, I'm not the only one. Anyone on the team would say the same thing. Whatever is asked of the coach, then that's what we're going to go out and do. Thank you. Wow. Mate, my head, mate, is just woo. Yes. All right, thank you. Anyway, yeah, like to follow up on that one, mate. Yeah, good luck. Good luck on that one, guys. Yeah, that's a good question. Hype me up. Nice. No one? Good choice. All right, very well. Thank you.
dive right in. What are you thinking when you're watching the protests in the NFL yesterday after the comments from President Trump?
It's interesting. I think, I'm proud. I think America was built on a foundation of people standing up for what they believe in. And I think that throughout history, you can look at any protest that's occurred, and they're not well received at the time that they occur. I think that's pretty obvious. That's why the protest has to take place. So obviously, I think what they're doing there it's a good thing, and I think it's calling attention to problems that we have in this country. And obviously, there's going to be some resistance, but I think that they're on the right path.
Josh, with all of the additions that the Oklahoma City Thunder have gotten this year, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Patrick Patterson, what do you see your role being for the team and for the organization?
I mean, I try to be whatever they want me to be. Obviously, we're loaded with talent. Going into this year, selfishly, I want to take as much as I can from these guys because it's not often that a player gets to learn from that level of talent in one person, let alone three. So I'm going to take that and try to make myself as skilled as a player as I can possibly be so that when my time does come, I can step up and do what it is they need me to do to win.
You're close with Ennis.
Mm-hmm.
What's your reaction when you see that he's traded and, of course, that Melo's coming in?
It's a mixed bag, man. It's obviously, it's disappointing to see Ennis go because, like you said, I was close with him and I was close with Doug too, but at the end of the day, this is a business, and those guys are amazing guys, and they're talented enough that wherever they do end up, I mean, New York, being the place now, they're going to succeed. I mean, I have no doubt about that in my mind. And then obviously, as a member of the Thunder, I want our team to be as good as possible and to be able to succeed. So bringing in an addition like Melo is huge, and it's exciting.
Josh, if you're a fan or media, you follow all this off-season stuff religiously and get all excited about rumors and things. Do you guys follow it close? And when did you first realize, hey, we just traded for Paul George, or we might get Carmelo Anthony, and then you do get Carmelo Anthony?
I think ideally I'd try to, stay away from it as much as I can. But if you're on any sort of social media, it's almost impossible to avoid. So it was out there and you see it. But there's so many rumors always flying around that it's just kind of like, all right, they come and go. You don't really pay attention to them until it happens. So when I saw, the Paul George trade, obviously that was a big surprise to me because I think one thing that everybody in this room can agree on is that Sam Presti works in silence and he's a magician, and I don't think anybody ever expects the things that happen to happen. So that caught me off guard, but obviously I was excited about it. Same thing with the Melo trade the other day.
You have an update on Muscle Watch?
I don't know. Yeah, been in the weight room in the off season, best shape of my life. So, yeah.
Josh, do you have a Melo preference for Olympic or hoodie?
Oh man, that's tough. Obviously, hoodie Melo is kind of the here and now. So I'm gonna have to go with hoodie. He seems to be on a roll right now.
Josh, how do you like the new NBA uniforms?
I like them. Comfortable, man. I'm a big Nike guy, so I was really excited when I found out Nike would be taking over the contract. So it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to testing them out here in a few weeks.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
know Alex's.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm not positive.
You have any update on your knee situation, what you'll be able to do this week and all that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go, and tomorrow I'll practice with the gym, with the team, just like normal.
When did you find out you were going to be cleared?
I asked it on Thursday, I guess, when I start like doing everything on the court, and they said like if everything goes okay, I'll practice with the team.
Alex, a lot different roster than when we last saw you in April. What do you think about all the changes with all the new guys?
I think we really make a good team. I mean, we got Melo and PG, so was Russ and more guys on the team. So I'll say we're a good team to fight for the championship.
Alex, with the addition of PG and Russ,
Melo.
there's not an, or I'm sorry, PG and Melo. There's not that a lot of defenders to cover all those guys at one time. Are you excited about the possibility of potentially getting a lot more open looks and a lot more, wide open 3-pointers?
Sure. I mean, if we have on court Westbrook, PG, Melo, and let's say Steven Adams, nobody's gonna look for Abrines. So that will give me a lot of open threes, and that's what I like. So.
Alex, you put on a lot of pounds this summer. Can you explain your workout regimen and how you actually did it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just like control your meals, eat more protein and veggies, and then work on the gym. I got a plan to follow all the summer. I did it, and thanks to the strength coaches, I was able to win over, I would say, like 10 pounds during the summer.
Kind of following along with Fred's question here, you added that muscle in the off season. How is that going to affect your game necessarily? We already know you're a good 3-point shooter. What else will that help?
If you know the league, I mean, all the players are really strong. So one thing I realized over the first year is I got to change my body if I want to play this league. So that's what I did, and I was my first focus during the first year and this first off season.
Alex, ¿cómo estás? Alfredo de Telemundo, Oklahoma. Yo sé que te acabo de molestar hace unos pocos minutos. Pues acerca del cambio que vas a hacer en tu estilo de juego, porque yo sé que la campaña anterior fue nada más puros 3. ¿Qué vas a hacer en tu tipo de juego, estilo de juego para poder contribuir a este equipo?
Bueno, yo creo que sí, que no tengo que perder ese tirador, ¿no? Que ya soy, y simplemente tengo que ir añadiendo pues más cosas, ¿no? Con estos 3 jugadores, o depende con los jugadores que tenga en ese momento en pista, pues tendré que pues jugar más con balón o sin balón, ¿no? Sobre todo pues abrir más espacios y muchas veces pues encontrar el hueco cerca de canasta.
In English, basically, you were saying that you're just much more than a 3-point shooter. Could you tell the rest of us kind of what you said at the end there?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, like, it depends actually with which players I'm on the court. If I'm with Russ, PG, and Melo, they're going to handle the ball, so I'll need to work on my non-ball movement and sometimes get like easy layups or cuts. And if I'm with the other players, maybe try to create for the team, play some pick and rolls, and of course, like, be a shooter as I am.
Do you think your time spent with Spain basketball this summer has helped you develop for your game for the NBA for this season?
Yeah, I mean, we work different than here because we play different. But of course, I mean, just being around legends like the Gasol brothers or Navarro or NBA players, Rico Rubio, helps me a lot. So I'm just trying to learn from them as much as I want to learn from those guys here. That's it. Yeah, thank you.
Raymond, you obviously played with Carmelo in New York. What was your reaction? What were you doing when you found out about it, and what's just your reaction to playing with him again?
Oh man, I was excited. You know, I gave him a call to talk to him, and it's fun. It's gonna be fun to be back with him again, man. And we had a lot of good times with each other. But with this team, the team that we formed and we put together, it's gonna be a special team, man. I look forward to tomorrow getting started.
That all of the Melo stuff pretty much went down pretty quick over like a 24-hour period. So what was that experience like for you? How were you following it, and how'd you find out? How'd you react?
I really didn't know anything, and I heard something, but you know, I really don't pay attention to rumors too much. You know what I'm saying? But once it actually officially went down, you know, I got that phone call, and I was excited, man. You know, I was excited. You know, I tend to not to pay attention to the rumors and this trade is going to happen, that trade is going to happen. I kind of stay away from there.
What made you choose the Thunder in free agency?
It's a team that I feel like is on the verge of doing something special. Hence, as you can see now, I didn't know all of this was going to happen, you know, prior to signing here. But it was an organization and a team that I was excited about. You know, I love the family atmosphere that that we have here, and it just felt like the right thing, you know. And I'm excited, and I definitely know I did the right thing now. So, you know, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
Raymond, you've been around a while. You've seen a lot of different situations. How tough of a coaching job does Billy Donovan have? He's got a lot of talent, but he's got to figure out a way to use a bunch of new players, not just the superstars, you and Patrick, a lot of new players. How tough of a coaching job will that take?
Well, you know, I don't really think that's somewhat fair in a sense, because at the end of the day, you know, we the players, and we all grown men, and whatever coach needs us to do, I think we should do it, you know. And some nights you may not like it, some nights you may love it, you know, but overall I think that, you know, it's all on us. You know, we can't really put nothing on him. You know, he has the talent, he has his system. You know, we have to find a way to, you know, put our game into his system. And I think the biggest thing we have to learn, you know, is sacrifice this year. And I think we have the right group of guys who are willing to do that. And I don't think we're going to have any problem in that aspect. And I think Coach Donovan is going to have a fun year. He's going to have a fun year.
Raymond, I don't know if you saw Greg Popovich's comments today kind of about the whole Donald Trump situation, NFL protest. The gist of it was that he stood behind players who said that they can kneel. He also called our country an embarrassment. What does it mean to you when an elder statesman like Greg Popovich uses his platform to speak up on behalf of players?
I feel like in everything in that aspect is everybody's own opinion. You know, everybody have their opinion. Somebody else might feel a certain way, and then this person here might feel a certain kind of way, you know. And with me, I'm just all about, I'm not a politician, and I'm not into politics, so I don't get into all of that, you know. But at the same time, you know, I'm all about whatever everybody else is down to do, I'm down to do it. You know, rather, as long as it's the right thing to do, you know, at the end of the day. But as far as what Coach Popovich did, that's his opinion. If that's what he said, then that's his own opinion.
Raymond, you've played for several different organizations throughout your career. In the short time that you've been here, has there been anything different within the Thunder organization that's maybe different than the rest of the organizations throughout the league that you've played for?
Everything is different in every organization. That's just what it is. That's why it makes every organization its own unique, organization and team. But what I will say is about this organization is that it's been wonderful. It's been amazing, and it's like I said from day one when I first signed here. It's been family oriented, and it's been nothing but A1. And I'm not saying it hasn't been that way at all the other teams. Like I said, every other team is different in its own way. I have nothing but love and respect for every team that I play for because they gave me an opportunity to play basketball, which is something I love to do.
The Thunder struggled last year with its second unit when Russ was on the bench. Adding you and Patrick clearly helped the depth. But with George and Carmelo, is it a chance now that this team is so deep that the second unit, whatever how it looks, can really be formidable?
No, I mean you're going to need everybody on this team. It's not about first unit, second unit. It's about all 15 guys coming together each and every day to make each other better, and for us to get better as a team. Because at some point you're going to need everybody. Rather guys getting rest and other guys need to step up who don't play a lot of minutes. Rather somebody gets hurt, knock on wood, that nobody does. It's all about everybody getting better. I really don't like to tend to talk about first unit, second unit, or starting five, or who's coming off the bench. All of us have the same goal. All of us have our own roles, and we have to be good at it. Thank you. All right.
Chair off. Jeez. Check.
Good. Patrick, first of all, how is your knee, and is there any update on your progress?
Progress is good day to day. In my mind, it's all about being 100% by the time tip off. That's all I care about. So it's going good. Trainer and staff has got me on pace to be there.
Do you know what you're doing tomorrow yet? Do you know what freedom you have to do?
Not yet. So I assume when I roll in there tomorrow morning, they'll inform me all that.
Secondly, I think everybody sort of projected you to start at power forward here when you signed. Now Carmelo Anthony comes in. What was your reaction to that happening? What do you think about what that does to the rotations and that sort of thing?
Oh, I was happy. Only makes us better. Adding him onto this team only makes us better, and it's all about the team, not about me starting, not about me coming off the bench or my playing time or minutes. It's all about us collectively as a unit getting better, and all heading towards that one goal, which is to win a championship and get to the finals, both of those. So I was happy. Great addition to the team, phenomenal player, even better individual, and it's only going to make us better.
Patrick, I got the vibe that you were a kind of a fan favorite in Toronto with the Raptors. Obviously, Toronto is a much, much different city than Oklahoma City. What's that adjustment been like?
It's been cool. I grew up in West Virginia pretty much my whole life. I went to Kentucky, so I always compare it to the University of Kentucky as far as being the it team. Basketball rules all in Kentucky, and it's the same thing out here. Of course, you have Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, but the Thunder pretty much, in my opinion, rule all. And the fans, the people here are so heartwarming and loving and opening. The weather's great out here. The food's good. So the transition's been great. I've had a lot of fun, met a lot of interesting people, seen a lot of cool places. So I've been enjoying myself. Yep.
Yeah, Patrick, speaking of that, we always got the idea that even if the Thunder could trade for Carmelo, he wouldn't come here. Just a New York guy who loved New York. We're not New York. What is it about this place that would make it, outside of just the roster and the organization, that would make it, I think it'd be okay for a guy, Carmelo, to say, hey, I don't mind don't mind living.
Yeah, outside the organization, the teammates. Of course, winning is the environment here. Outside of all that stuff, the people and the fans make the city great and what it is, and that appeals to players. It appeals to me. That's why it's one of the reasons why I came here. But for anyone individually, for them to come here, outside of the Thunder itself and the team and the coaching staff, the people, the fans, the weather, the environment. It's a great place to be. It's a good place to be. If you have a family, it's nothing but positive energy. And I don't see why people wouldn't come here just because all those factors combine into something great.
It's a little bit of a follow-up to Barry's, but historically this organization hasn't really signed big-name guys, convinced big-name guys to come here in whatever capacity, whether it's like Melo in a trade or something like that. What's changed? I mean, you came here, Ray decided to come, and he's a big-time vet, and Melo's obviously a huge name. Is there something in the league that you've seen or with the reputation of the organization that's changed over the last 5 years or whatever it's been?
The reputation here has been nothing but phenomenal, but positivity, from the guys who have been here and given this organization and the city success, from the players saying nothing but positive and great things about their experience here on and off the court, to winning, to being in the national limelight, to the entire country, the entire world knowing who the Oklahoma City Thunder are. Throughout the course of the years, it gradually becomes more appealing, and as you continue to win, that's only going to cause guys to want to be here. And you have a great GM, you have a great coaching staff, you have phenomenal players and amazing fans. It's only going to get better, and throughout time, as you've seen, it's gotten better, and guys have been wanting to come here, and guys want to win. And you go to a team that you feel like you can win, that you see yourself best fitting in, and that's what we've been seeing this past summer.
What was the best movie you saw this summer?
Best movie I saw this summer? Wow. It hasn't come out yet. You got a couple months, but it's called The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Mark that down. It comes out in a couple months, but mark that one down. Mother, I don't know if anyone's seen that. Go check it out. Make sure you bring a brown paper bag just in case you get a little sick, a little woozy. Make sure you stay the whole entire movie. Don't leave early. So definitely those two.
Hey, Patrick, so Saturday things kind of changed as far as the team goes, and maybe as far as your standing within the team. So how do you see your role kind of changing now that Carmelo is in the mix, probably as a starter now?
My role is still the exact same. Energy guy. Anytime I step on the court, making sure the energy is up, energy level is great. My teammates are all comfortable with what's going on out there in the plays, spacing the floor on offense, taking my shots as they come, 3 points, transition, playing great defense, being able to switch onto a guard, being able to guard my man in the post, talking and communication. Whether that's me starting, whether that's me coming off the bench. Even when I signed, nothing was told to me I'm going to start. No one said that. I expected to come here and earn a spot, whether it's starting or whether it's coming off the bench, whether it's the sixth man, whether it's the eighth man in rotation. When I signed here, I knew I was going to have to work hard to get minutes out there on the court. So that's my mindset. No one's changing that. No one, new addition-wise, is going to change that. But that's pretty much my role. That's what I just explained. Cool. Thank you.
We have training camp rosters if anyone needs one.
Samaj, what do you see your role being on this team, considering all the new additions and all the shakeup to the lineup? What do you see your role being, and how do you see yourself growing as a player?
Just coming in every day, being the same consistent player, really wouldn't say it's a role. Just come in and do my job and keep the guys happy.
Samaj, you have a special place in Thunder history because you hit the shot that Russell basically broke the triple-double record with. And I know you're young, but have you thought about what you're going to tell your kids and your grandkids about how you and Russell scored maybe 50 together and like what your greatness is and all that?
Nah, not yet. I'll probably just put it up on YouTube or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. They'll know though. Somebody tell them. Somebody tell them.
As a point guard, when you look out there and you see Carmelo Anthony and Paul George, what kind of opportunities is that for you, and how fun is that going to be?
It's a great opportunity. Those superstar players right there that you're playing with and make the game will make the game easy for you if you play the right way. Yeah, I'm ready to see what it's like. They definitely gonna help me out a lot and build confidence up for me playing with those guys. So I'm ready to see what it's like.
Samaj, coming into your second year, what's been the biggest adjustment from you going from now your rookie year to your second season?
I really wouldn't say a big adjustment. Just being confident, being ready to play, being ready to compete when my name is called. I really wouldn't say it's an adjustment. Just we got new guys on the team, and a lot of firepower on the team. So just figure that part out where I fit in or what can I do to help. That's pretty much it.
You went into training camp last year on a non-guaranteed deal and ended up making it through and being there for the whole season. What can you take away from what you did last year that can help you this year in a similar situation?
Really just try not to worry about it. Control what I can control. Come in there and compete and do what I do best. I can't really control what the end outcome is. Just come in and compete. I feel like that's how I got through training camp last year. Same thing this year. Just come in and compete and be focused.
Thank you so much.
This one right here, I hope it's for me.
Terrance, this obviously is a very different team than the roster when you got drafted. What, for you as a young guy, what's it like just to know now you're going to be learning things from Paul George and Carmelo Anthony and be around those guys?
Those guys are future Hall of Famers in this game, so to be able to just come in right away as a rookie and just learn from them, just picking from each and every brain, just learning and trying to get better as a person, as a player, and just how to survive inside this league.
Terrance, what's your first NBA summer like? What do you do from a workout perspective and from a lifestyle one?
From lifestyle first, just trying to find a home, just trying to find somewhere to stay. I'm just trying to get my body right for the season and on the court, like just working out, just doing my game, a lot of shooting, just staying in shape, just those things.
Does a season where you're abroad and kind of have to be on your own, you're living in another country and trying to figure that on your own. Does that kind of help with that process? Is there sort of a familiarity because of it?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. No, I matured a lot last year. Going to Australia, different country. I'm a young guy. It definitely helps coming back home. Way easier here though. Coming back home, just trying to find a spot and just living on your own. I'm pretty much used to it now. So I had that year in Australia, so it's pretty easy now.
Stephen is from New Zealand and has made very clear he does not like Australia very much. Has he given you any grief about playing there?
Well, I'm not Australian, so he doesn't really give me anything about it. But he definitely talks about Australia all the time, and it's a New Zealand Australian thing. But I understand it, but I'm not Australian, so he doesn't really give me anything about it.
Being a Tulsa native, now being back here in Oklahoma, just what has it been like since draft day so far and now gearing up for the season with yourself and just your family here?
It's crazy. Like you said, being from Tulsa, being from Oklahoma, and playing for my home state team, it's an honor and it's a blessing. I'm just taking it all in right now and just enjoying it.
Do you have a plan yet? Have you spoken to people on kind of an outlook for this season, where you might be playing your time, where you might be able to get your minutes in terms of in the G League versus on the NBA roster?
Right now, I'm just taking step by step. Like I said, just listening, learning, just getting familiar with everybody in the arena, with the coaches and players, and just, like I said, taking step by step and just wait for my day to come.
Did you worry at all as moves happened that you might be involved in any of them? I mean, did you hear your name come up in any of those trades or anything along those lines?
My agent just told me, just stay focused. He said, you have nothing to worry about, so I wouldn't worry about anything. I was just playing my game, just working out, just staying the same person I am. All good. Thank you, guys.
Dakari, it kind of took you 2 years after being drafted, but you're finally here at not at Blue Media Day this time. Is this like a cool feeling for you right now?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The last 2 years are great and really helped with my development and growth. But it's been a long journey, but it's pretty cool just be around, and it's been a good day so far.
Dakari, did you always have in your mind this would happen? Were you always confident you would get to this point?
Yeah, I definitely was confident. I believed in myself. I really worked hard over the past 2 years, and each day it was a process. Sometimes I had doubts, but I just continued to work hard and continue to grow.
What's the summer been like as you sort of sit back and see the team, and one day suddenly you guys have Paul George, and then over the weekend you get Carmelo Anthony. What's that been like just to sort of follow along?
It's been crazy, just to add players like that, but we're all really excited, and I'm excited just to, pick their brains and, just watch what they do every day, what makes them so successful. So it should be exciting to see and watch. I'm excited. You always have to take advantage of opportunities, and I feel like I've worked hard. I'm going to continue to work hard, and it's a process. So, I'm just going to take my time and just continue to work hard and, listen to the veterans and, follow what the coaches tell me. And, it should be exciting.
There's obviously now with Russ and PG and Melo, you got 3 stars. You have a lot of really talented players. It's a very different situation, but you played in college on a team where a lot of guys had agendas, a lot of guys trying to get drafted. That team kind of meshed. What's important for a team when a lot of great players are together to kind of mesh?
It's really important to lock in each day. Every practice, we competed against each other and made each other better. So, with this team, I think we have to just do the same, just compete against each other and just continue to grow as a unit and just take it day by day.